Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist, that's a CBT therapist, and a licensed mental health counselor. I'd like to start by wishing everyone a pleasant and lovely Monday. A new week has started, and I hope that this case gets more updates because we all are here to make sure that justice is correctly served for these 4 young lives that were taken too soon. May they rest in peace, Kaylee Congalves, Madison Morgan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Conodle. Like I told you all, I've started this case from the beginning for the last 3-4 months because I always believe that in every case, as time goes on, things can easily get changed. And I believe that the most important things lies in the beginning of a case. So I'm going to play this clip. This is interesting. This is how Idaho Moscow police said that they traced the phone ping to Bryan Christopher Kohlberger.
We begin with breaking news out of North Idaho.
Just a moment ago, Moscow police confirmed 4 people were found dead in a home.
Xana Kernodle.
Xana, you will not be forgotten. You have impacted so many lives and have given people so much love. I hope I can make you proud and try to leave an impact on this world and on people like you did.
Ethan Chapin.
We are eternally grateful that we spent so much time with him because time is precious and it's something you can't get back.
Madison Mogan.
So just smart and funny and beautiful. She was just nice to everybody.
Kaylee Gonzalez. They shared everything. They came here together. They eventually get into the same apartment together. And in the end, they died together.
The Idaho murders rocked the small town of Moscow, captured the national attention. We'd soon learn that 4 college students were stabbed to death, murdered weeks before Thanksgiving. It would take police thousands of tips, hundreds of interviews before arresting Bryan Kohlberger, the suspected killer. Let's go back to November of 2022, when this all started.
First, my deepest condolences to the families. And friends of Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, and Madison. Excuse me. Their loss has been devastating, and they were bright lights in our community.
The 4 victims were found dead around noon on Sunday, November 13th, 2022, at a house just off the University of Idaho's campus, after another roommate called police.
The results of autopsies indicated that the 4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds, and there was no sign of sexual assault.
Police say all 4 had been out until about 2 that morning before returning home. Documents show Xana Kernodle was awake around 4 a.m. She was on TikTok and ordered food through the app DoorDash. One of the surviving roommates told officers she woke up and heard what she thought was crying from Kernodle's room about 4:17 in the morning. A security camera about 50 feet from the wall of Kernodle's bedroom picked up distorted audio of what sounded like a whimper, followed by a loud thud and a dog barking. The roommate says she opened her door and saw a man in black clothing and a mask. Court documents say that man walked by her and out of a back sliding glass door. The roommate then locked herself in her room.
At this crime scene, we collected 103 pieces of individual evidence. We took approximately 4,000 photographs. We've conducted multiple 3D scans of the residence, and we have hundreds of hours used by technicians and investigators.
Outside the house, police say the suspect's alleged movements played a big role in connecting him to the crime scene. Using cell phone records and security camera video, investigators determined Kohberger's car and cell phone left the Washington State University campus, where Kohberger lives, at 2:44 a.m. on the night of the murders, headed for Moscow. Investigators say at 2:47 a.m., Kohberger's phone was either turned off or put in airplane mode. It didn't come back on until 4:48 that morning. A white sedan matching Kohberger's Hyundai Elantra was spotted in the area of the murder scene from 3:29 a.m. until 4:20 a.m. Court documents show the vehicle drove by the house 3 times, about 3:30 in the morning, before leaving the road. Then at 4:04, the car returned to the street and parked. Then it left the street at a high rate of speed at about 4:20 in the morning. The suspect's car was spotted back on the Washington State campus at 5:25 a.m.
I have an issue with this part of the timeline. Bryan Christopher Kohberger came and parked his car at 4:04 and he left at 4:20. That gives them 16 minutes. I personally refuse to believe that within 16 minutes, Kohberger went and unlived 4 people in the house. Some people may say that is possible, but I find it really difficult to believe that. Because 16 minutes, are they trying to say that he took 3.5 minutes with each victim? Even if Bryan Christopher Kohberger was involved, the reason I say that is because they still do not have DNA besides genealogical DNA. I've heard a big YouTube creator saying last night that why can't people understand? And Kohberger is genealogical DNA was found from my ancestry. My ancestry and Me Too, was it? Are not allowed to be used by law enforcement. It's important what we say here because we shouldn't be misguiding people. He should know that better, that my ancestry was not used. Unless the FBI used it, that would be illegal, and maybe that's the reason they don't want to turn over the evidence. Law enforcement are allowed to use, I believe, 2 or 3 small companies. I'll call them companies, obviously. And one of them is Justice DNA. That has 500 participants. And then there's 2, 3 that are much smaller that have 22 and 200 and something. The other big ones, like my ancestry and my heritage is another one, and Me Too, they do not allow law enforcement to use that. So we need to make sure that we provide the important information. Because by saying that, and he was arguing in fact with people saying that y'all don't understand the case. He should understand better because it was said in the trial when the experts came. There were 3 different experts that Ann Taylor put on the stand, and they all agreed the same thing. The law enforcement are only allowed to use certain apps or companies. So for them to say that Koberger, Bryan, entered this house, unlived 4 people, took the risk of 2 other roommates being there. Let's see, there were 5 roommates and Eaton. Who in the normal mind would go into a house with 6 people there and take the chance? Because he doesn't know if they're sleeping or awake. If they're awake, they can jump him easily. There's 6 people. While he's dealing with 1 or 2, the rest can run out or go get weapons or whatsoever, or call 911. So I find that difficult to believe. Koberger has been in this place 12 different times. This was the 13th or 14th time because he came that night twice or thrice. Unless he's been pre-planning it, even by pre-planning it, why would he come by himself when he knows there's neighbors around?